At the annual Independent Wine Expo in Paris, 1,000 vintners were clinking their bottles. It's the traditional emergency alarm system of the vineyard. And while the cheery salespeople and their thirsty customers don't appear all that panicky, there is nonetheless a great deal of worry about the way changes in the climate are affecting French wine production. So much so that the winemakers joined forces this year with the environmental organization Greenpeace to circulate petitions and express their concern about how global warming is threatening their livelihood, something Greenpeace has been predicting for years.
If the seasons are no longer seasons, if we have heat waves in springtime and then very rainy days and weeks in summer, this totally changes the way wine is being grown.
Jackie Martineau, who produces 80,000 bottles a year at his Chateau de Chasselas in Burgundy, has seen plenty of those changes take place over 20 years. First were the weeds, he says, weeds he had never seen before from southern France. But then he and other vintners began seeing annual temperatures climbing, which has made for higher alcohol content, earlier harvests, and a growing threat to Burgundy's Pinot Noir grapes. Many wine growers are considering pulling up their vines and replanting with varieties which can better withstand the heat. In the very south of France, the problem is more critical, a lack of water. No variety of vine can withstand the kind of droughts they've been having. Around Séverin-Bourrier's Chateau Loup, she says they haven't had a decent rainfall in 5 years, and that means yields are down drastically. She and her husband have more and more difficulty producing their wine, and they may be forced to double their prices, which she knows no customer would understand. In fact, many say the effects of climate change on the business of making wine here are only just beginning.
Some predict that increasing temperatures will move the wine-growing areas of Europe northward by 1,000 kilometers, that's 600 miles, by the end of this century. That means not only will the character of French wines be changing, but also they'll be facing increased competition.
French winemakers are only half joking when they predict that one day the British may be making sparkling wine to rival champagne. Whatever develops, one said, climate change means major modifications in what we do. Our wines will change, and in 20 years' time, some may no longer exist. Jim Bitterman, CNN, Paris.